Okay, we got our center line marked for our pins, you know, for our control arm. We're using a 5/32. No, this is a 3/32. 3/32 inch bit. And again, you can set up a jig on the drill press, but I feel comfortable just doing them like this. Just drill them down in there a good 3/8 of an inch or so. And what's going to happen now is we're going to take one of these small pins. They're really small. You can get them from us or some other suppliers if you want, but I don't know if you can see that or not. I'm going to lay it there so you can see. And what it is, it's got two hooks on the bottom, and when you shove that into the hole, take a pliers, and when you shove that into the hole, they're going to be inserted in there, and they're not supposed to come out. So you can see we're shoving that in tight. Boom. And it's tight. And you can see what I want to do on these louvers, I want them to go parallel with the louver. So I'm going to continue putting some of these pins into all of my louvers next. Okay, you can see we got all of our, I guess you call them control arm fasteners, all fastened in. They're all going parallel with our louvers, and their holes are all ready to go. Okay, now we're ready to dry assemble this now. When we assemble it now, we're going to have our louver pins here. We're just going to line them up in each hole and make sure the control arms pins, the pins are all going the same way. Believe it or not, what we're about ready to do right now is the hardest part of putting this thing together, is lining everything up. And maybe that's why they charge so much for these shutters, I don't know. But right there. Okay, we're going to put our other rail in here. And I'm going to tell you something we did ahead of time. Everybody knows how to cut a rabbet. Okay. On the top side of this, you can see we cut a small rabbet. That's where our top louver is going to overlay into. And we also cut a little notch out there for our control arm to go. And on the bottom here, we cut the rabbet on the bottom side, down here. Okay? So, when putting these together now, you would have this glued. You'd have this glued. I'm not going to go through all that today because I'm not going to fumble around doing this, but you line it up and you have to take each one of these pins one at a time and line them up. And if I don't get lucky here, we're gonna shut the camera off and come back to this, but we're going to see if we can get lucky here. Okay, one here. Okay, we're locked in. Okay, sometimes it takes longer, sometimes it doesn't, but right there, we're set. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go get some clamps. Let's pretend this is glued, and I'm going to clamp this up. Okay, we've got all of our fasteners into all of our louvers now. Next thing you want to do is make your control arm. And that control arm, you want to make about a half inch by 5/8. You can radius that top edge if you want. And if you want to extend it 3/4 here and 3/4 there, that's fine. And then you're going to drill those 3/32 inch holes every 2 1/4 inches. All right. Now is where you earn your money doing this here now. What we're going to do is take the one fastener, and the one fastener has to go through this fastener. They separate apart, okay? And when you pick them in there, you want them at a 90-degree angle. Now we got to come into here and shove that into here, see? So this is where it gets tricky. If you got big hands, you might want to get some help with your wife or somebody. And a pair of bifocals wouldn't hurt either. So shove those in. Okay. Can't really see what I'm doing here, but there, I got it shoved in. Okay. I'm at a 90-degree angle now to my next one. Okay, now I'm going to go to the next one. Okay. And we're going to take the next fastener. Again, come into here, go through that fastener, and come into this one. Now, I'm not going to bore you with this because this might take me 10 or 15 minutes, but that's how you do it. We're going to keep on going up till we're up to the top. Okay, after a few four-letter words, we finally got this done here now. And I did figure out one thing. It's a lot easier if you put all the fasteners into the control arm first and then come back and put the fastener through the control arm into the louver. Okay. Another way I've read about doing this is, it might be a little bit easier, is to use these little eye hooks, these little eyelets, and screw them into each one, and then take a needle nose pliers and do this. So you can take these eyelets and open up your eyelet and hook them that way. But you do that and your control arm gets pretty sloppy because these are pretty big. But these are hard to work with. They're nice and small. But when you get all said and done, it makes a nice shutter with our new shutter set. So you can open them, leave them open if you want, and shut them or close them. But that's how we make our window shutter.